The Champions League proper has begun, and we are pretty much now playing Wednesday, Saturday, constantly week after week, and some of the squad are starting to feel quite fatigued, even though it's very early in the season. The transfer window has also closed, and nothing really happened of any note. And so we will go into this very, very busy phase with a very small squad. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to The Road to Glory, Part 59, Season 7, here at Livingston. And if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support all that good stuff that you can see scrolling up above. And it has been a very good start to the season, but some of the squad are starting to feel quite fatigued now. And today we will be playing two games. St Mirren at home will be first in the Premiership, and then we'll be following that with an away trip to Newcastle in the Champions League, our second game in the group phase. In the Premier League, we are doing very well. We have played 6, we are unbeaten, and we have 16 points from 6 games. We are level on points with Celtic, and we are 2 points ahead of Rangers, who are in 3rd place. And we have played 1 game in the Champions League so far, and we played against Italian team Camoranesi, who are struggling a little bit in the Serie A this season, and so I did fancy my chances against them, and this is what happened. And so if we take a look at what has happened on the pitch since you were last with us, when you were last with us, you saw us have that 3-0 win against Dundee United, and we followed that with a very good 1-1 away draw at Rangers, where 2 late goals, one from either side, saw the points shared, and that meant that we stayed ahead of Rangers. And then came that 1-0 victory that you saw against Camoranesi, a game that we did very, very well. We were playing away, and it was a good result. And that has set us off quite nicely in terms of the Champions League. We followed that with a 1-0 away victory at Hearts, and our series of 1-0 victories in the Premiership continues. We're still struggling to score goals, but we are winning our games. And it was a goal by a defender, Fitzwater, that managed to secure the 3 points this time. Our forwards are still not playing very well. And then in the League Cup quarter-final, we comfortably beat Greenock Morton by 2-0, and that now has set us up with a semi-final against Hibernian. And the winners of that will probably need to play Celtic in the final, so even though we could get to the final, I don't remain optimistic at this point of winning the first trophy here at Livingston. And so today, as I said, we'll be playing St Mirren at home in the Premiership, and then following that with the away trip to Newcastle in the Champions League phase. And I think the Champions League may be exactly what I need as manager of Livingston, because if we go to the finances and we have a look at what's happened, we are, after 1 game, we are suddenly, our overall balance is 23,500,000. That's a huge increase in terms of revenue coming into the club. And so if this continues and we have to play, I think 6 or 8 games in the group phase, we could end up by Christmas having a huge amount of money in the bank, and it might well be worth asking the board for a quid or two before the January transfer window starts. Who knows what the bank balance is going to look like in December, and who knows how the board might react at that time to such a request. But in order to pay out some money, we've got to look like we are in a good position challenging for trophies, and that will mean maintaining our good form as it is at the moment and making sure that the board are happy in all respects. We shall see what happens as we get nearer to Christmas. And so, coming back to today, we will be first playing our home game against St Mirren. St Mirren, who are in 6th place, they are performing well above what is expected of them, and we need to be very careful. I think that we should just continue at the moment to be doing what we're doing. I want to go out and be very positive against St Mirren, and that's how we're going to play. So, let's go and kick some balls. And so today's team is Johnson in goal with Sweet, Akinola, Boyle and Frame at the back. Bowden, Whittaker and Moylan in the middle, with Pagano, Henderson and Anderson getting a chance up front. Anderson has been so badly out of form that he hasn't played very much, but it is time to rotate the team now and to give players a chance to prove that they can sit comfortably in this team. And I'm going to tell them, yeah, we are favourites. I need a strong performance today from all areas of the pitch, and we need to go out there, get this 3 points. They are a weaker team than us, but nothing can be taken for granted. And there is a highlight straight from the kickoff, so I want to know, are we in key highlights? Yes, we are. So hopefully this will be a good start for us. And there's a lovely ball over the top looking for Anderson. Anderson is in. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. We've scored within 14 seconds of the game beginning. And Anderson, who's not been in form this season, is he suddenly going to find a bit of form? We have gone a goal up right from the kickoff. I think it was 14 seconds. Anderson picked it up 11, 12, 13, 14. It's actually 15 seconds. And Anderson has put Livingston a goal up. Exactly the start that I wanted. And that will be very settling for my nerves. And the game, hopefully now, will be a very comfortable victory. We are a better team than them. We are playing with a very high defensive line though, and we do need to be quite careful, and I do need to keep an eye on things in terms of how the game goes. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like St Mirren are actually doing anything in particular. We, on the other hand, Whittaker seems to be having a good game, and also James Sweet is having a very good game, and hopefully we can just build on that. At the moment, as we can see, there's nothing really happening from St Mirren, and we are dominating the match. We're totally in control of the possession. We have had 77% of the possession, and we are in possession again. And here's Pagano. He is robbed in the middle of the field. He's had trouble settling in a little bit, Pagano, but I do have a lot of faith in him. He is a good player. He just might take some time to settle in. It is time to play him, though, a little bit more, because we are struggling in terms of fitness, and he has hit the post. Talking of Pagano, a long-range strike hits the post, and it almost was 2-0. Looking at the match momentum, we are totally in control of the game. And although it is a free kick to St Mirren, and St Mirren are always going to be dangerous from set pieces, the free kick flies over the crossbar. It remains Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. We're totally dominating the game. I'll be very surprised if we don't win this game quite comfortably. Celtic are beating Dundee United quite comfortably at the moment. But St Mirren are coming forward towards the end of the first half, and that was a chance. And it is still Livingston 1, St Mirren 0, as we are coming up to half-time. And I think although we've played well, I think we should be doing a lot better. And I'm going to tell them that's exactly what I want. I want a better performance. You weren't that bad, but you can do a lot better. And there is a highlight again at the beginning of the second half. And I hope this isn't going to be against us this time, as St Mirren are looking to break. It is time that we actually lose a football match. We've been playing so well, and yet such congested fixtures, and it's about time we lost a football match. And it is St Mirren, and we have defended very well. In the Premiership, we have been defending very well. It's in Europe that we haven't defended very well. But then the quality of teams that we've played, Braga and PSV Eindhoven, they are better quality of teams, and so I would expect that. But in terms of the Premiership, we've defended very, very well. I do need to be very, very cautious about. We do have a big game coming up against Newcastle, and at the moment things are not going well. It looks to me like St Mirren are dominating the game at the moment. They are coming at us. I might well need to change some things here, as St Mirren are looking for a chance and that goes over the crossbar. I'm going to shout at them and tell them that I'm going to demand more. This is not going as I wanted it to. St Mirren are actually dominating the first part of the second half, and we need to get our foot on the ball and start playing it a little bit better. And I need to try and figure out where the danger is coming from for St Mirren so we can close that down. Here's Bowden. Bowden's looking for Frame. Frame looking inside. Frame's had a decent start to his time at Livingston, coming in on loan from Celtic, and he's a young lad that we have to play because we are having to rotate quite heavily. And there's a ball over the top for Anderson. Anderson's in. Can he score again? Anderson has chipped it over the goalkeeper. I think it took a deflection, and it is credited to Anderson, and it was a lovely ball through to him. And we have gone 2-0 up. And when Anderson goes into form, he scores a lot of goals. So it may be time to play Anderson for a few games. And here he is. It does get a deflection, which takes it over the goalkeeper. It's now 2-0 to Livingston. We are back in the game. We're back in control. The ball was from Whittaker, who's been in inspired form. Anderson just kept himself onside. I think it might be time to make some changes now. And so we have rested now a couple of key players for the remainder of the game. And hopefully now we can just see this out. We should be winning this. We are defending extremely well. I'm just going to check if anybody is causing us serious problems. Dembele is causing us a few problems, but not too many. Here is Oberle. Oberle slowing it down, finds Whittaker. Whittaker looking for Bowden. That was a poor pass, but it has fallen to Nubler. Nubler over the top to Whittaker. Whittaker inside to Anderson, and Anderson just fails to get his hat-trick there. Can he get a hat-trick today? It would be wonderful. But let's have a look. Do we need to do anything at the moment and make some more changes? And so we have made our final change of the game. And Dembele is causing us a few problems, and maybe we do need to tight mark him as the game goes on. Maybe not. He is a very good player, and I don't want to get too close to him because he just might skip past tired defenders. But we're defending very well. Here's Fitzwater. Fitzwater to Oberle. Oberle finds Boyle. Boyle, a lovely ball into space to Bowden. Bowden looking for Frame. Frame to Boyle. Frame's having a very tidy game today. I'm very, very impressed with Frame. Here is Sibley. Sibley looking outside for Nubler. Nubler in space. Can he find Anderson? He's looking to go outside. Looks for Anderson, and Anderson has made it 3-0. Is he offside? I think they're going to check for offside. It will be such a shame if he is offside. I thought he looked onside. And if he can get his hat-trick, is it awarded? The goal has been disallowed. That would have been a hat-trick for Anderson. He's back in form. And I thought he looked onside. Yeah, he was a yard offside. It remains 2-0. 3-0 would have really settled everything down. We are in total control of the game. Possession-wise, we've totally dominated the game. 70% of possession. We've dominated the XG. We've dominated every part of the game, and we've looked the part in this match. And the final score is Livingston 2, St Mirren 0. And that is a very, very good performance, and I'm going to say nice work everyone. I don't want to upset this team at all. They could have won by more, but just winning is good enough at the moment. And it looks like Rangers have had a poor result, have they? Because no, they have just got a game in hand, which I suspect they will win. Celtic have won, of course. They beat Dundee United by 4-0. And now we have to go and prepare for the next match against Newcastle United. And Newcastle United, who are a Premier League team in England, we are nowhere near as good as them in terms of finances, in terms of reputation, or in terms of players. We'll do well to get anything out of the Newcastle game, but we'll do our best, and we will prepare for that game, and we'll come back when the game is about to begin. We'll be back soon. And so the team against Newcastle today is Johnson in goal, with Sweet, Fitzwater, Boyle and Murphy at the back, Omeyenga, Martin and Levitt in the middle, and Whittaker, Sibley and McNeil will play up front today. I was wondering if I should play Anderson again, but McNeil is a much more aggressive player, and I think I need to have an aggressive player up front today. I don't feel that we are particularly in with any sort of chance here. My assistant manager in the press conference said he fancied his chances. I will be very, very surprised if we get anything out of this game at all. And I will be very, very happy if we can keep it to a 2-0 or 3-0 result. I think we have to go and attack them. And I think that we have to just keep focused on who is actually playing well for Newcastle and who is actually playing well for ourselves. And at the moment, with 7 or 8 minutes gone, Newcastle have not looked that dangerous, and Johnson is about to take a goal kick, and he finds Sweet. Sweet is going to look up the line, but he turns inside, and we're going to get caught on the ball here, but Fitzwater intercepts. He's looking for McNeil. McNeil is beaten in the air. Here come Newcastle. They are a stronger team. They are a better team than we are, and we'll be lucky away from home to get anything out of that game. That's a good tackle by Murphy, but he has been robbed, and it is a chance, and Newcastle have scored. It's Newcastle 1, Livingston 0. Victor is a great player, and his attributes, looking at him before the game, he has the most amazing attributes, and tight mark him, not a chance. We don't have anybody who's capable of tight marking him. Murphy did well, but unfortunately he didn't have the support, and the ball fell to Newcastle. They have gone ahead. This is a game that we didn't expect to win. We couldn't expect to win. And now at the moment it still remains Newcastle 1, Livingston 0. We are creating chances. We haven't put anything on target yet. Now a bit annoyed that McNeil is not having the greatest of games, and it's probably McNeil who's firing shots off target here. And yeah, he has 2. And I think probably I need to do something about him. Maybe I'll ask him to shoot less often and see if he can't wait for a better opportunity rather than taking chances. And maybe that will help him. So we'll do that now. We'll just go and ask McNeil to shoot less often. He is already on shoot less often. I think what we'll actually do is change him to an advanced forward and then say shoot less often. And hopefully he'll be able to do something. But Newcastle are coming forward again. Newcastle have made it 2-0. I'm just hoping this isn't going to turn into a rout. And that will be disastrous for morale. I'm not expecting to get anything out of the game, but I was expecting to be a little bit better in terms of the performance that we're putting in. Goal is awarded. I am not surprised. It's now Newcastle 2 and Livingston 0. And we are not as good as Newcastle. We can't expect anything out of this. And we can't expect anything out of the Champions League group phase anyway. We are currently now sitting in 15th place. That's good enough. And yeah, okay, we don't need to see any more of this, FM. And yeah, we are we are currently in 9th place, and Newcastle have gone to the top of the league. They are absolutely dominating us at the moment. I need to get Charlie McNeil off the pitch. He's having an absolutely dreadful game. Newcastle are playing very, very well. I'm looking at others who are not playing very well. Fitzwater and Boyle are having terrible games. What I might do is make a little change here, because we are playing with a much higher line. and we will bring the defensive line down a little bit just to see if we can't improve their performance. And there's a ball over the top again, and Victor's through again. He's deadly. It's now Newcastle 3, Livingston 0, and we are in terrible trouble. And the defence is all over the place, and I may have to make some serious changes at half-time. We are defending absolutely poorly, and I don't want to see that again. And unfortunately that happened before. I can't press him. He's got acceleration of 19, so we can't press him. And they have made it 4-0. No, it's hit the crossbar. We have cleared. We're all over the place. We are going to get absolutely annihilated in this game. Thoroughly deserved, because we're not playing very well. We're not as good as them. And this is a very, very poor performance, and it's going to affect morale, and I'm not happy. And I'm going to say I think we need to show people what we can do. And I'm going to say I'm not happy with your defensive performance. It's been unacceptable, and I'm disappointed with the midfield, and you haven't been good enough, I'm afraid, Charlie McNeil. And actually I'm going to take him off and bring on Anderson to see if Anderson can actually do a little bit better than Charlie McNeil. We have to take off Fitzwater, who is having an absolutely nightmare game, and we will bring on Akinola, who is in good form at the moment. And there are one or two others, like Dylan Levitt is having an absolute shocker, and we'll bring on Bowden for Dylan Levitt. And we'll see. Will Boyle is also not playing very well. We're having an absolutely dreadful time, and unfortunately sometimes that's the way this team plays. They are very, very poor sometimes. Murphy again, I'm going to take Murphy off because he is having an absolutely dreadful game. I actually don't have anybody on the bench, do I? Yeah, we'll bring on Penrice. He can't do any worse. He is still injured, Penrice, but he can't do any worse. And Newcastle are completely dominating things. And as we go into the final 20 minutes of the game, it's still Newcastle 3, Livingston 0. We've been soundly beaten, and I can't argue with this result. Although happily we're still in 9th, and that can't be bad. And we've also, though, created chances. I'd say we've done ourselves credit. And yeah, let's take Sibley off. It's time to rest Sibley. We've got another big game coming up. We are now into the final few minutes, and it is Newcastle 3, Livingston 0, and we have taken a bit of a blow, but we have to pick ourselves up and move on from that. We've played well in the second half. I recognise him, Simon, in goal. He's been in one of my teams. I think he might have been in my West Ham team in 23. And is it possible that Newcastle are going to get another one? But no, we've intercepted. It comes to Whittaker. Whittaker looking for Pagano. Is this his chance? It is a chance, and we have failed to take it. That was Anderson. Absolutely awful finishing. We're into the last half a minute, and are Newcastle going to have the last laugh in this game? We've been soundly beaten. I didn't expect. As I said at the beginning, my assistant was very optimistic. I'm not too optimistic at all about our chances in the Champions League. What is good about the Champions League is that there will be money coming into the club, and it is full time. 3-0 is 3-0. We weren't that badly beaten looking at the stats, but it was Victor who was the difference. He was a very, very good player, and I bet you if I say you did yourselves proud, they're not going to react very well. I'm just going to say I don't like what I saw, and they've reacted fairly well to that, so that was the right call to make. I think if I'd said you did yourself proud, this team would not have been too happy. We are so still in 9th. If we can make it to 8th, we will qualify without having to go into the playoffs. But I can't see that happening. We have to play some very big teams, including Milan, Juventus, and one or two other very big teams. Celtic have beaten Stuttgart, and so Celtic have moved up to 11th as well. And so things aren't looking that bad. We have been beaten, though, for the first time in a long time. And that's inevitable in this Champions League phase. We are in a very, very tough group. And if we can just be outside the playoffs, I'll be very, very happy. For me, it's all about money, this competition, for the time being. And that's it for this video. If you are new to the channel and you like FM content, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help us to grow and help us to support all that very good stuff that you can see scrolling up there. And it is a very happy manager, despite the fact that we have been soundly beaten by Newcastle. I'm still very, very pleased with the form at the moment, given the amount of games that we're having to play. And we will be back very shortly, possibly with the games against Hibernian and Porto. Maybe it will be those two. And when we come back, hopefully we'll have a better result in the Champions League next time. And so for now, all that remains to be said is we'll see you in the next episode.